Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Steve here at the DJ Lab. Today I'm going to show you how to use OBS for your DJ live stream. It's going to be not the shortest video in the world, but it's going to be very detailed, step by step. I'm going to show you how to use Winamp, get visualizers going in there, do all kinds of cool things to make your DJ live stream look good, because there's too many of you guys out there that are just, setting your phone up and you're just not doing it right. So let me show you how. So let's just get rid of this title here because we don't need this. So it's going to remove that. Yep. So here we are. We've opened up OBS. You have your scene and some of the things you're going to need. You need an audio interface. So there's many interfaces you can use, so you can figure that one out. Now I'll show you how this all goes. And you need a webcam. So first thing we're going to do is see, we go plus. We're going to add a video capture device, and I'm going to call it a webcam, because that's exactly what it is. If you name things, it's easier to build scenes afterwards because you know what everything is, right? And then you want to pick your device. I'm using a Logitech Brio, which I highly recommend. And then you want to select your resolution. We go custom. Because I want 60 frames a second, I do 1920 by 1080, because anything above that, it doesn't do 60. So doing 4K at 30 frames is no good. You better do 1080 at 60 frames. Now, here's another important factor. We're right here on this screen, and I'll show you. You go to Configure Video. Then you have the Properties tab come up. Go over to Camera Control. This is on the Logitech Brio. Depending on the camera you have, you may not have all these options. This is why I recommend the Brio. You want to turn off this autofocus, right? And because we want to capture cool lights and stuff, you're going to turn off that exposure, turn off that low light compensation, and you want to bring your exposure down to say it's about there. And if I move my hand around, you're going to see. So that's the other thing too. If your exposure is, the lower your exposure is, that means the shutter is closed, right? So things are more fluid. Find something that's good for you. Go into the video process and adjust your gain if you want to give it a little bit more brightness to it. And it depends how you want to look. I kind of like it dark and just everything lit up, and you'll see why afterwards. But just hit apply, say okay. Click OK, and this is it. We've got our webcam set up. So now one of the other things, I don't want to have all this stuff on the side. I just really want to frame the DJ system, right? So if I move my camera, I can grab this, and I can move the whole thing around. And there's some things I can do here, for instance. I can hold, you see these little markers on the side, right? If I do this, if I grab them, I'm just changing the size of everything. If I right click and go to transform and say fit to screen, it fits it to the screen. Now, but if I hold down the Alt key while I drag it, do the same on the other side. You got to get right on there until you see the arrows like that, and then hold down Alt and use your mouse and drag it. So now I essentially just kind of chopped off the sides there, but still, I want to have this area filled in and that area there, right? This is where the magic comes in. So you're going to download Winamp. This is only going to work on a Windows machine, unfortunately, because that's Winamp, right? Open up Winamp. Now what you're going to do with Winamp, this is going to be kind of interesting to see how we're going to make this all work. But in Winamp, if you go to File and say Play URL, right, and then you type in line in :// and then click Open, and then you have a line input. So what this means is if I play some music, you're going to see how things change. Some visuals are more sound reactive than others on Winamp. But you know it's working because you're seeing the little spectrum analyzer at the top there. You see when I'm talking, that's working. So we know this is working. So this is okay. Now, here's the other thing you want to do. Is we're going to go into the options here. Go under the visualization. No, sorry, we're going to right click and we're going to, I always forget how to do this thing. Right click on visualizations and you want to stop the plugin, right? Because what we want to do, go to visualize, no, stop that plugin again. Where is that stop? We're going to configure the plugin. But we got to see, you can't configure it while you're running it. So, and it's because mine's set up. I just want to make sure I'm being thorough so you guys don't get lost here. Stop that plugin. Go up to options. Go into the preferences. And you go to visualization. And we go to configure under milk drop. So under the common settings, here's the secret. The reason this works, by the way, is because I use two monitors. Because you're going to be capturing, you're going to be running a visualization on one monitor. And that's the one that's going to be with your DJ system, let's say, right? If you have it hooked up like mine. And then you're going to be capturing that monitor in order to get the visuals on your stuff. So, full screen, there's my second monitor. You just make sure you need two monitors. Shouldn't be a big deal. Monitors are cheap. It doesn't got to be a fancy monitor. It just needs to be a second display. That's all. Hook up your TV, anything, right? You got this all set up, and you're gonna you're gonna need a pretty fast computer. You need something halfway decent to be doing all of this. And if you're DJing, you're live streaming, invest some money. Buy a computer that's got a good graphic card, some kind of gaming machine. This thing here, the Alienware, is about 4 years old, I guess, but it's a GTX 1080 i7. I think it was a 7th generation. Click OK. And we're done. So now we can go back, double click on the visualizations. Will the double click work? No. We got to like right click in there, go in the visualizations. We're going to start the plugin. Now when I double click this, it's going to throw it up on my monitor. So now I can reduce this down, and you see there it is on my monitor, right? Now what we're going to do, go to add, and I want to capture where are we here? Display capture. So we're just going to type in monitor. So I just know it's the monitor. But now I'm capturing the monitor that I'm working on, and I'm going to go down to display. I want to capture the other monitor, and I don't want to capture the cursor, and we say OK. So you're thinking, okay, you just covered it up. Right. Now check this out. So if I grab the corner, click and drag, and now I'm moving it. If you hold down shift, you can actually adjust the size so it's not restrained, keeping the original thing. But I want the original. So I'm going to pick a size, right? Now I'm going to right click. I'm going to go to transform. I'm going to go to edit transform. And you go into, move this over a little bit down so you can see what's going on. If I go into rotation, and you don't need to click up and down on the arrows, by the way. You can literally use your mouse, whether it's a pad, you can do 2 fingers on your mouse pad to go up and down, or if you have a scroll wheel. And I can now use my 2 fingers and literally click in there and move that around how I want. So what I'm doing, I'm going to capture the angle of my lights. Drag that thing down. I'm going to grab the end here, pull it to make it a little bit bigger, move it over a little bit. Maybe I'm going to change my angle a little bit. And good enough. Good enough for the moment. Move this out of the way. And we're going to close this. Now, the other secret here, you want to right-click this. You want to copy it. And then you're going to right-click again. And you want to paste a reference. So now, I have a second one, right? Now, here's where things get interesting. Because you want to have it so it looks the same on the other side. Once again, right-click, transform, edit the transform. Move this other way. And we're literally going to go in here and just figure how you want to be spin. If that's the bottom, right? Picture how that worked out. That was the bottom. So you're just going to move it this way. Angle it, drag it over. Adjust it to the angle that I want it there. Shift it over a little bit so it looks about the same. And we are good here. But we're not completely good. Because now I want to go into that transform again, and I'm going to need to flip it. And this is where I had some issues before. I think I need to want to flip it horizontally. Trying to get to be about the same on both sides, you know what I mean? And it depends on the visual that you're running to, because some are trickier than others because you're cutting stuff off, right? Oh, see, so now that gave me a hint right there. I want to transform that. I'm going to flip it vertically. And I think that's... let's try again. Flip it. Vertical again. Flip it horizontal. And like I said, that's not the most important part of the whole thing anyways, because you can then grab your camera and you can center your camera on the screen. And you get the basics. Everything else is about fine-tuning stuff and getting it down packed, right? The other thing you might want to do, you might want to fill in that space up top. So you can go down here. You go down to color source. I'm just going to call it a square, even though it's going to be a rectangle. And I'm going to select my color. I'm going to select the black. Click OK. And this is where we make our rectangle. Now, this is where, if I want to change the real dimensions of it, I hold down Shift while I click this. And here's another trick too. When you have things in place like this, right? So I don't want to move the monitor. If I click the lock, now I can't accidentally move things I've already moved. I'm going to actually lock my webcam in. So the only thing I can drag around in here is literally this square. Because I wasn't holding Shift, it automatically wanted to make it a square. So I need to hold Shift. Now you're thinking to yourself, well, everything's now sitting over top. If I take that square and I drag that down in between the webcam and the monitor, you see what happens? It's all about layers. Wherever you have that sitting, that's the top layer, that's the bottom layer. If I had to move that square under the webcam, we lose it, right? So you just got to make sure your layers are where you want them. You know, if you want to add text, let's say, call it the DJ Lab. And here's a trick too. You're better to have the text bigger than have it smaller and try to, like, you know, enlarge it, because it's just going to get all pixelated looking. So I can take that. Now I can drag that over top of there. And now we got that sitting there. The other thing that we need to do as well too is, of course, you want to have an audio source. You're using a sound card. You want to capture the input, not the output, but the input. So I'm going to type in sound card. Helps if I can read here. Click OK. I'm using an audio 4, using my 3s and 4s. I pop that in, and now you can see the meters are running. Once those meters are running, you can adjust the volume in here to do, you know, if it's too loud or anything, or if it's not loud enough, you can crank it up. Another thing you can do, if it's not loud enough for some reason that you just don't have the input. I'm using the booth out on my XDJ XZ, so I can adjust it. But you can click on that little gear. You can go to the advanced properties, and you can actually boost up the decibels in there. Like, type in 10 decibels, hit OK, and you're good. Just keep in mind, if you redline in this thing, it's going to distort and sound like shit on your stream. So that's pretty much it. You know, that gives you a basic idea of how you can put some stuff together, make it sound really cool, look really cool, and yeah, take it from there. So, like, you know, and if you don't want to use winamp, I'm going to give you another example here. Let me just turn off these monitors for a second. You can literally go in there and say you want to add a media source, right? So I'm going to call this one, we'll call it Fire. I'll pull up the Fire one and just show you. Yeah, browse in here. I look under my downloads. Where's that Fire one? And click OK. Now I've got that Fire one. Do the same thing. I'm just going to resize it. I'm going to right click, transform that thing. Go to Edit Transform. And where did my Fire go? Hold on a second. Where'd the Fire go? I lost it, so I go to the properties. Hold on. There we go. Oh, you know what happened? Hold on. I'm going to go into the properties. I didn't have loop engaged. So if you're grabbing a loop, you need to loop it. Very important. You can also change the speed of things as well, too. So now we're going to right-click, transform, edit transform that thing. And this is where we're going to rotate it. You could literally type in the numbers too if you know the angle that you want it at, right? Grab that thing, pull it down, move things out of the way. You know, and this is the hard work. Once it's done, you know, you save it and you're good. You don't have to keep doing this stuff all the time, right? Make that a little bit bigger. I'm seeing the angle's a little bit off. Make it just a touch bigger to cover everything I need to cover. Shift it over just a touch. And we close that up. And then we go in there, we copy that, right click again, paste the reference, take that same thing, right click, transform, edit transform. Move that thing over here. And maybe, you know, and what I can also do too, close that up, is I can take my, unlock my, what we got here? We're going to unlock my webcam layer and just go in there and just shift it just a little bit. Get everything looking good. That's relatively centered. More or less. You know what I mean? Like I said, everything else is just about tweaking, right? And yeah, that's it. Now, what's cool about this too is once you have these references in here, you could literally right-click on your scene and say duplicate this. You want to duplicate the scene. We're going to say OK. And then what we do here is where it says fire. We're going to right-click. We're going to just turn them off. You don't even got to remove them. You could go in there and you could literally even just remove it. But I'm just going to do this. And we're going to add another media source. Call this one space. And there's my space loop. Make sure it says loop. Click OK. And same thing. Exact same steps. And if you remember the numbers from the last time, you could literally just punch them in. You know, I didn't look at the numbers, so I'll just do it the hard way. And here we are moving this again. Make sure you go back down here. And you know what? Hit that lock so you don't accidentally move things that you don't want to move. Close that one up. And we're going to do the copy. And then we're going to paste the reference. And someone might know a trick, you know, on some programs, for instance, you can click something and hold a corner and then you can do a rotate. I don't know if that's possible. It might be, but this is the way I've been doing it. And here's the problem. I just literally, let me drag this thing up here because I like literally just lost it for a second when I'm doing my little spin around. Like I'm sure there's probably a faster workflow. But you get the basic idea, right? Like I said, I just want to be thorough, go over a bunch of stuff, and we close that. It's good enough for the moment. So yeah, we still have our visualizer there. We have this space effect. Now here's what's really cool is if you go into studio mode, here's where things get cool because I'm going to uncheck the fire or the monitor, sorry. So you see on the left side, this is what we can work on while the one on the right side's playing. And then you can literally just click on the fade and you can go back and forth. You can go in there. You can adjust that fade to say, let's go 5,000 milliseconds, right? Now we do a fade and it does a much nicer transition. And because I move things around, that's why you're seeing that. If you were doing your scene and you lock everything in and you're not making any adjustments, then all of a sudden everything would be fading back and forth much better, right? And be all lined up. So yeah. And then, of course, you have all kinds of transitions. Once again, this is more about the creativity. Using OBS, it's very simple. There's lots of tutorials. I'm just giving you an idea of how I do things when you guys are watching my live streams to try to help you guys out a little bit. I'm just going to shut down my, my winamp here. Make sure we're still recording on that side. I think it's all good. So that's it. That's, you know, 26 minutes, but it was thorough. It shows you how to do some stuff. I look forward to seeing what you guys do with the information I gave you. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them below. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the alerts. I look forward to seeing you all on the live streams, and I look forward to seeing your live streams as well, too. If you're doing anything, then I've helped you out. Send me a link to your stuff so I can see what you've done. That's it, guys. I'll talk to you all soon. Hey, guys, almost forgot one of the most important parts, so I had to, like, start this thing up again. So I'm just going to edit it in and add it on. So this is the second part, so to speak. Once you have everything going, right, you need to go into your settings and you go to stream. And this, it's not hard. It's like where you want to stream your stuff. You know, if you're starting up Facebook on, you're doing start up your stream on the browser, it's going to give you your stream key if you're doing Facebook. If you're doing YouTube, you know, same thing. You can connect your accounts, all that fun stuff. You can do your custom. You can do Twitch. You can pick your stuff. I use Restream because Restream, it's free. It allows me to stream my stuff to YouTube and Facebook at the same time, and to Twitch as well too. If you using Twitch. The other things too. So the video bitrate. I have a fast internet connection. They kind of recommend use as much as you think you can. You know what I mean? So I'll generally, you know, I'm doing 60 frames. I'm going to do 6,000. Your encoder, you want to use that encoder. It's the best one to use. And then you can change your recording format if you're going to be recording. If you want to just record and then upload this somewhere after the fact. So you can do like an MP4. Yeah, you go in your audio. You can change, you know, your sample rates. I don't really need to have 4,400. And it says you got to restart anyways to enable that stuff. I do 40. I think I do 4,800, but you don't need to. It's just you're sucking up extra bandwidth. You know what I mean? The video, and it tells me, oh, this is what my output is, and I don't want my output to be that. I want my base and my output to be the same. You know, I want to do 60 frames. And I think that's pretty much it. You know, say you pick your recording path where you want to actually output your stuff to. The audio bit rate says 160. I don't know. You can put the 320. I don't know how many streaming services are going to support 320. I never really tested that out. It always sounds good enough for me wherever it was to begin with. Hit apply, hit OK. And then it wants to restart because we changed a couple things. But other than that, that's it. Super simple. And hopefully that covers it. Any questions, just ask in the comments. We've already been through the whole thing. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button if I'm helping you out. Send me the links. I want to see your stuff. Okay, now we're actually done. Sorry for the long, lengthy video, but hopefully it helps you out.